Welcome to this video on the Sanawara channel. My name is Sri Satguru Buddha Rawa Bhagwan. In today's video, I will tell you the true story of the Aztec people, the Aztec nation, the glorious Aztec and their gods. In today's video, I will tell you secrets of the gods. There are different types of Shri. Shri is one that has learned to push forward, one that has been enlightened in their window, given direct connection. The Shri are the gods of creation. And the most advanced cultures in the world are the cultures that give birth to the Shri. As you know, there are many cultures, such as, for example, India, where the gods have the word Shri before them, which is the Shri vibration, which is the act of being a Shri, an enlightened divine being. And you have the main Shri. And then you have others who have developed to the level of a Shri, newer Shris. And you have also in other cultures of the world, gods as well. Stories of gods, right? And so you have the Indian culture, which is very well known for giving birth to the Shri. The Shri Satguru, the Shri Avatar. But you have other cultures in the world who also have their gods, who are Shri. So you have, in this way, different types of Shris, because the Shris are the Shris of different stories. You have different types of stories, stories that are anchored in legend. This is a category, and it means basically these stories are established. And then you have stories that are truth to some degree. And then you have stories that are the truth exactly as they are told. Different types of stories. And different cultures build their stories based on their different stories and their cultures and their societies. India is a story where its greatest tales have seen some embellishment. This makes them no less true, but they are truth to a certain degree. And within the truth to the certain degree, there is the real truth of the story, the eternal Dharma, the real truth of the story. But when you look at the story as it is told and retained, the story is embellished in many ways. This is a culture in this way that is expansive in that way, where it embellishes in many ways. You have other types of cultures where the story is the truth exactly as it is told. So the story and culture of the story that is told, for example, of the gods and of creation and why the people are there, the story of the people, the story of that nation, of that group of people at that time, can be in some ways exactly as it is told. So there are some words, some stories that are exactly as they are told. It took place and takes place exactly as it is told, word for word, in one perception of the truth. And then you have other stories where the truth is in the words, but you have to do some digging, or you have to basically understand that it's been embellished and that it's gone through history and seen some changes. So these are different types of stories and cultures. These are very important concepts to understand when you look at society, the development of society, and the occurrence of gods within society, which are the gods of the story, the gods of the Dharma, the gods of the different cultures. As there are different types of stories, the truth exactly as it is told, or truth that has been embellished or modified or changed exactly, truth that has kept 100% light in the facet of light in which it was told, or truth that has basically potentially been leaking light in its communication through different channels. Some truth are exactly as it is told, and some truth are, I would say a nice way of saying it is, more difficult to contain within a simple truth of explanation. So some cultures are in this way. So India, for example, has beautiful embellished stories. And some stories are just so deep and embellished that the truth is there, but there's a bit of poetry that's put into it. There are other systems, other ways of culture and interacting with life and creation and the gods that were much more factual, technological based, efficient. No stories, no embellishments, no expansion. Just a core truth. And the stories that have embellished are the stories that have lasted the most time, right? So India, for example, the culture of India has lasted for a long, long time, right? And the story is so deep of Hinduism. It's an endless journey, right? But there's other cultures where the story, some cultures lasted less time. Some cultures lasted only for a little bit of time. Okay? They didn't expand in the same way. So you can see it in a certain way, but maybe they lasted for not a long time here, although the descendants of that culture likely still exist, but in a specific form. So when we're talking about a truth that is exactly as it is told, it exists within the form in which it is told. So in this way, you have different cultures that have different gods, and different gods evolved in different ways based on different stories of the cultures. Okay, so different cultures had different gods that developed. And what did they develop as? They developed as Shri. And different cultures developed in different ways as Shri. Okay, so for example, you have the classical Indian Shri, the classic Shri, okay, which is known at its earliest levels to be a bit fragile, right? Easy to defeat at its earliest levels by a Shri potentially of a different type that at earlier levels is more developed. But then when you have the Indian Shri that basically goes to the highest levels of mastery of the Indian Shri, right? At that point, the Indian Shri is much more fortified at that level as well. But you have different types of Shri, of different cultures, okay? So the gods of different cultures, right? The gods of the culture, okay, of those people of that time. So gods within the story. And basically gods of a story that is exactly as it is told, or that has seen some embellishment, but of a culture that existed and of a truth that has existed. So the truth doesn't cease to exist once that culture has modified and changed or been evolved or integrated into another culture. The truth continues, as does the truth, to the level of truth that it was in the form that it was. Okay, so you have some cultures basically that have more towards the form and more towards the formless truth. Okay, and the evolution and play between the both. Some cultures basically more firm on one versus the other. Okay, so you have different cultures and different truths. One of the truths, which is the greatest truth of the Indian Shri, the classical Shri, is that the classical Shri is a being of the Dharma. Okay? The Dharma, which is all pervading. Okay, it is a Shri, a being of the Dharma. It is a being of that truth of the Dharma. But there are other truths and other gods of those truths which exist within the Dharma, but exist also within their truth. And that truth cannot be reversed. It always has its place in truth if it is of a true story, in the form in which it is existing. So you have two sides, more towards the form, more towards the formless. Some truths that have seen embellishment and growth, and some truths that retain, that exist only within the truth in which it was explained and spoken in the time of the culture. And these can be powerful in different ways. So you have, for example, the story of the gods and of life, of mysticism, of the Aztec gods and the Aztec culture, for the mystery that of the time that it existed. And one of the greatest truths and secrets of all of creation and the greater master story of God is that the Aztec culture is a truth exactly as it is spoken. One of the great secrets of creation revealed to you, of all people, in the light of God, here on YouTube. It is a story of truth exactly as it is spoken. Another great secret of all of creation is that the Aztec people, the Aztec civilization, is one of the most, if not the most advanced civilization that has ever existed. They are a civilization that knew that they would not exist for a long time. They had this foresight, and they had the most advanced technology. They also had the technology of the Shri. Another culture with the pyramids, modeled on the great pyramid, Kailash. They too had a god, the heart of the mountain. It is a truth exactly as it is spoken. The story and culture of the Aztec gods and the people. And they were the most advanced technologically and still are within the system. Their gods exist within the system. The most advanced gods, the most powerful Shri. The Mayan Shri are also very powerful. The Aztec Shri, who, if they, for example, encountered a classical Shri, especially at the early levels of a classical Shri, would overwhelm the classical Shri, I must tell you. The Aztec civilization kept a great secret. They were the most advanced spiritual development species, race, people in all the stories and cultures. And not only that, in all of them that will come. They were visited by gods, by Shris. Their gods, their Shris of their truth that is spoken exactly as it is told. That is true exactly as it is told. The Aztec Shri. The Aztec gods. And they knew that their civilization would not last a long time, which is why they did the sacrifices. Not because they loved blood sacrifice, quite the contrary, they were not mad people. Because they knew the power of what it did as a technology. They knew that their civilization was the greatest civilization that had ever existed at the level of development of the being that is called a human, that is called a god, of the being of the Shri. And to preserve their whole culture, their whole species, their whole people, they took on a great project. And that project was to make their gods the most powerful gods of them all. The Aztec gods. And they used the blood sacrifice where the very people of the culture, the most advanced culture spiritually and technologically that the world, that all creation will ever see, and in the short period of time where that culture existed as a culture, they took on the great project. One thing, to manage the end of their empire until, and by managing it, to sacrifice as many people to their gods as they could manage and maintain the basic sustenance and stability of their empire. They did a mathematical calculation. How many can we sacrifice while maintaining the empire till the end of the empire we know is coming? And they put everything, all of their blood, into their gods, to exist forever within the story of their gods, the most technologically advanced species that has ever been existed and developed. And the Mayans also are very powerful gods. And this is the great secret of the Aztec Shri, the Aztec god. who has bathed in the blood of all his people, and who carries all their blood within them. The great gods of the Aztec story, a story that is true exactly as it is spoken. So you see, the Aztec were not doing this for fun. They knew that they had to put all of themselves, their whole culture and empire decided that they would last forever through their gods and their story. That was true. And that is why, although this is one of the great secrets of creation, the true power of the Aztec gods and the Mayan gods kept hidden for very long. I reveal these secrets to you because they are important now to know. The Aztec, the most spiritually developed empire, who knew that they would not last a long time, and who created through their gods their immortality. And not only that, very powerful gods who exist within the system. The most powerful of the Shri, the modular Shri. In these videos, I reveal to you the great secrets of creation and the power revealed today of the Aztec nation, of the Aztec people who still exist in the people of the land today,